Well, as I say, welcome to all of you. This is my very first sewing club. As many of you know, I know some of you from previous life, but I retired, in inverted commas, from Genome in the summer of last year, at the end of June. And I think, there's no animosity or bad feelings. I just had a real think. I got sick at the beginning of last year. I think I was pretty much burnt out, and I had a long think and, decided to go out on my own and semi-retire so that I could spend more time with my family and my grandchildren and travel. My husband is not a well man, and I want to be able to travel with him as much as we can. All right, so that's that little story. But I have got a website that most of you will know about already because you registered there for this club. And my plan is to have the club once a month. I mean, occasionally it might be an absolutely crazy time and we have to postpone it till the next month. And right at the get-go, I would like to find out, and you do not have to give me an answer right now. You can certainly put it in an email to me, or you can put it on the Facebook group. Do you all belong to my Facebook group? Because you're going to need to belong to it for various things. It's called Sew and Learn with Liz Thompson. And that's a Facebook group. If you can't find it, please contact me by email. You can at any time contact me by email. Just the other day, I think it was you, Doris, that ran into a difficulty. And it was my fault because I showed something on the video and they were doing it slightly differently. And she got a bit confused. So it was my fault. And she contacted me and I sorted her out while I was sitting around the pool in Mexico. So I'm glad we could sort that out. So you are most welcome to do that, especially when there are queries that arise directly out of a class that I have taught or a video that you've purchased access to on my YouTube channel. Okay, but this one, obviously, the purpose of this is to get together in a nice casual atmosphere where you can tell me things, you can ask me questions. They do not have to be only about things to do with classes that I've taught. I am more than happy to take questions on anything sewing related. I can't help you with brain surgery. Okay, that is not my area of expertise, but I can certainly help you with most sewing and embroidery things. If I don't know the answer, I will jolly well tell you I don't, and I will try and find an answer for you, or I'll refer you to somebody who can help you. Okay, I set the time for 4 o'clock Pacific and 7 o'clock Eastern, but I just had to kind of take a stab in the dark, and I don't really know if that's a time that is suitable to everybody, which is why we're recording this, because there were a number of people. There were actually 25 people who registered for this club class. And as you can see, a lot of them are not here. So I do know life happens, but some of them did tell me they weren't going to be able to make it because they had to work or something. So my question to you guys is there a better time? Knowing that we had people today that registered from as far away as New Mexico, and we had people in Ontario, and we had people in Alberta, Saskatchewan, BC. So it's going to be jolly hard to find a time that suits everybody. But if I can get some sort of a consensus from you guys, I am happy to change the time and even change the day or the week of the month. That doesn't worry me overly. The only thing I do ask is that you don't make me get up at 4 a.m. I'm not a morning person. I don't mind teaching a class at 9 o'clock at night, maybe, but I don't like 4 a.m.
Liz, I was going to say 4 a.m.
You cheeky thing.
I'm usually up at 4 a.m., so it would work great for me.
Oh, wow. No, I am so not a morning person. And since I don't work for Genome anymore, I've reverted to my body clock. And so honestly, there's very rarely do I get out of bed before 8 or 8:30. And then I do the coffee and the tea and we start our day. But then I go to bed very late. So anyway, so as I say, you don't have to tell me right now, but if you want to drop something in the Facebook group, or you can email me and tell me what your preferences would be. For example, maybe you work every single Wednesday and this is not a good time for you. And it's a big rush to get home from work if you're in Ontario and get going by 7. So give me some ideas. I know I'm not going to be able to please everybody, but I will tape them so that you can watch it even if you're not available. And the other thing is that I am going to need you to register each month. The main reason for that is I probably won't close the bookings at 25 people, but once we get over 25 people on the screen, it automatically blacks you out. You can hear and you can see me, but we can't see you. So I'll play that by ear, and you guys can also give me input as to whether that works. I mean, I don't want to have a group of 75 or 80 people anyway. If it got that big, what we would do is we'd split it and have more than one time. Okay? Like I know some quilting guilds have a morning meeting and an evening meeting. We might go to that scenario if we need. So the next thing that I want to mention is, why did I want to do this club? Well, I don't feel too isolated, because our restrictions here in BC, sure, we've got restrictions, but they haven't been as stiff as some of the other provinces like Ontario and Quebec, maybe. So I also know that some of us are getting on in years, and we are very cautious because we know, even though we are vaccinated, that we could get ill. Now, I have had 2 of my friends currently have been quite ill. They both had 3 vaccinations. And so, you know what, we don't want to take unnecessary risks. And so at this stage, I'm not really prepared to do face-to-face classes. I know some people are, but I'm not prepared to. And I also feel that if we do them online, I can reach you in Ontario. Right now, I can't really get on a plane and travel. It's just not economically feasible. So this way, at least we can get together. It's not perfect, but it is better than nothing. Okay. The other thing is, I know I really feel very strongly about support. So I troll the internet a lot during the day, you know, the Facebook groups and the notifications and Instagram and whatever. And I see many questions. And there are lots of people out there who are not sure what to do. Many people, I think, Jean, you said that you haven't been able to get in for your owner's class yet. And it's what, more than a year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mainly because something always comes up, or restrictions or whatever.
So I don't work for Genome anymore, but so I'm not going to actually be giving you owners classes, but I am more than happy to answer questions and guide you in the right direction. And I am also super happy and prepared to assist you with anything that comes up in our clubs and in my classes and videos. So if you have something that you know is a burning issue, don't sit there. I want you to know that there is no such thing as a stupid question. And what I'm going to do now is switch over to my PowerPoint, and let me just share my screen, go to my PowerPoint. Yes.
Can I ask you a question before? Is this for Genome only?
No,
no. Oh,
not at all. I don't work for them anymore.
I don't have a Genome.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. I have
absolutely not.
Baby locks.
It's just that quite a few people that are here today know me from Genome, but absolutely not. I'm teaching a class for a dealer in Saskatchewan tomorrow. we're starting an embroidery club series, and we've got several different machines, brands of machines in the class, and she sells, I think, 4 different brands of machines. So absolutely not. Everybody is welcome. Okay? Right. So let me just share my screen, because I went and prepared all these lovely slides for you, so we may as well see them. Okay. Right. So first and foremost, there will be something each month in view of a project or a technique. And sometimes I will demo it at the machine. I decided for this first one that I would actually make a video for you, and that will be coming to you later. It's already edited. I just haven't uploaded it to my YouTube channel yet. When it is uploaded later today or tomorrow, I will send you the link. It's unlisted, so only you will get that link, and you can watch the video. So I picked this one on the left. You can see the Love You coaster or mug rug. And that design was not digitized by me. That design was digitized by Sweet Pea Designs in Australia. And it is a free design on their website. So I'm going to give you the link where you can go and get that design and download it and make this if you wish. Now, they've got quite good instructions. All right, these are the instructions that I printed out in color, but I think, and I explained it on the video, I think a lot of people really don't read instructions, and I'm one of them. And you'll see that in the video. I made a mistake on my first one because I didn't even bother to read the instructions. I just dived straight in. So I've made you a video. Now, the thing is, what if you don't have an embroidery machine? Because this is a sewing club. It's not only just for people with embroidery machines. So I have got a second project on the right, which says, "You make me happy." All right. And that is a rather lovely little quilted block design. It's called the Ombre heart block. And it comes from a lady who lives in the Bay Area of San Francisco. And she looks like she's got a really, really nice website. So I'll talk more about how you can get hold of that. You can do both and or either or of these designs. It's entirely up to you. All right. So I'm not actually going to demo the projects today because I've done you the video. And the directions for this little quilted heart block are really good, and so you can download those just instructions or just have them up on the screen of your computer or your iPad or your tablet, and you can watch those while you make them. So here they are, and I think what I'm going to do is I am going to spotlight. Why is it not spotlighting? Oh, I've got to stop sharing my screen. Okay, and let me go over here. Why is it not spotlighting? Have I got a pin? Yes. Okay. So I've just put myself, the webcam so that you can see. And this is the block that I made, first of all. And you'll see in step by step in the instructions of exactly how to make it. And it's got a little thing on the back, and the entire thing is made in the hoop of the embroidery machine. And it's quite small. It'll fit in a sort of 4x4 hoop. So if you've got an embroidery machine with a small hoop, that's fine. I have a Janome 15,000, and I did it in my SQ14 hoop, which is this oval shaped hoop. All right, and I'm not going to go into a huge long story about it because I said it all in the video, which you're going to get. But I did make a bigger one. Sorry, this one, the second one I made a bigger one so that there's a little bit of room for a piece of chocolate or a cookie, okay, as well as my cup of tea. And then I made another one, and I have not yet washed away the water-soluble stabilizer around the middle. And there is that little project. And then I showed this on the video as well. This is a coaster. I didn't make it, but actually Donna Morton at Snip and Stitch in Nanaimo gave it to me as a gift some years ago. And she could have digitized it herself because she's a real wizard at digitizing, or she could have got the design from somewhere. I don't remember, but I've kept it all these years since she gave it to me. And so you can look on the internet if you like this project, and you can find other designs. Okay, so that's that. So let's go back to share my screen and show you the next slide. All right, so there they are. It is the Ombre heart tutorial. And the lady is the crafty quilter, but don't worry to scribble information down now. You can if you want, but you don't have to, because I'll put it all in the email that I will send you with the links to the video of this club, as well as the video of the little mug rug, the little love me mug rug, or love you mug rug. And then also, if you don't want to make it pink or red, who cares? It's your mug rug. So if you want to make this and you want to make it blue or turquoise or green, that's your choice. Okay, it's a great scrap buster. I did mine in pink. You can do it in whatever color you want. And you can see the same for the Ombre heart tutorial. She's done hers in different colors as well. And it's, as I say, great stash buster. So that's the project for today. Before we move on, has anybody got any questions about that?
No.
And I see we've got some little messages in chat. I'm just checking to see. Okay, no, that's fine. It was nothing that I had to answer as a question. Okay, so let's go on to the next slide. And I wanted to give you a tip of the month, or this time it's actually tips of the month. And I don't know about you, but I have stopped using pins when I am pinning a pattern to my fabric. I've been doing an awful lot of bra making and bralette making. I didn't even know about it until just before I retired last year. And I discovered that there was a thing such as the Great Bra Sewing Bee. And I didn't know about it, and I've read up about it, and I thought, you know what, this sounds like something I want to do. So I signed up, and I had, I think it was 7 or 8 days where all I did was watch videos and people talking about bra making and so on. And I learned so much. And it was so much fun. So since August last year, I've been making a lot of bras and bralettes. And I taught a bralette class last month. And I'm very happy to teach another one. I know one of you in the class today wants me to do that. So if you are interested in another bralette class, let me know. And I will definitely put that on the books for March. But I also do garment sewing. And I don't find, with bra making and the garment sewing, I don't find that pins are the best to pin your pattern piece to your fabric. Number one, it can distort the fabric and shift things, so you don't get as accurate a cutout of your fabric as you would want. And you also, let me just check something here. No, I think we're good. All right. So I have started by using little stones. Okay. These are stones I've collected. This one I actually collected off the beach in Puerto Vallarta just last month. I tend to find flattish ones because if you put a big rock on your pattern, when you come by with your scissors or your rotary cutter, it can get in the way a little bit. So I tend to choose little rocks that are small. But then I saw somebody was using something different, and they were using these little washers that you get from the hardware store. Okay. and you can get smaller ones. So I found some at home, and that's what I'm using now rather than the little rocks, is these washers. And I actually went online and had a look, and there's people who add little Fimo clay things, and they make donuts and cookies and all sorts of things out of these little washers. But quite frankly, you can cover it, you can paint it, but I'm just using them as is from the hardware store. And I find they're really, really good. They need to have a little bit of weight to them to keep the pattern in position on, on the fabric. And then if you can, try to get into the habit of cutting out your garments with a rope cutter. It is much more accurate.
Also, I go in there and I find a TV clicker. All the buttons are.
Okay, so the next thing I wanted to tell you about patterns was, and that's my tip, is fusible craft interfacing. And I have got a pattern here. There it is. It's a see and sew pattern that I have had for donkey's years. I actually bought it from Wendy at House of Stitches in Saskatchewan because she'd made a top for herself like this, sort of like a tunic, a loose hanging tunic. And I can't tell you how many of these I've made. It must be close to 15 or 16 of them in all different fabrics. They're best with a drapey fabric, and I have made lots with ITY knits. Those are those very soft polyester drapey knits. So as you can imagine, and I think what I'm going to do is just pin myself again so that you can see it bigger. Move pin.
Oh.
That's not what I wanted. Oh, I know why. I need to stop share. Silly me. Okay, so here is my pattern piece. And as you can imagine, using it as often as I have, that brown tissue paper with garments, it's so flimsy. And very quickly, it started disintegrating. So what I did was I went to the F store. Please don't think that I'm referring to a certain type of store. I do not frequent those stores. Okay, one lady sitting in one of my classes at some stage looked at me daggers when I said the F store. And so I had to explain at the end because she asked me, what is the F store? Right, so I'm talking about a store that is a nationwide store in Canada, and you could just go there and buy the very cheapest, or somewhere else. You don't have to go to that store. If you're in the States, you can go to Hobby Lobby or one of those, and then you get yourself the cheapest craft interfacing you can find, the cheap one. And it needs to be fusible because you don't want to be messing with glue and silly nonsense like that. And then you lay it on the back of your pattern piece and iron it onto the pattern piece. And you will see that I've made alterations to the pattern at the bottom. And that's all done and honky-dory for the next time I want to cut it out. And by the way, it makes a lovely wrap for the beach. I have made nighties with it with certain fabrics. I've made lovely summer dresses. And if you make it a bit shorter, it can be a top. So I'm going to show you here. Let me just take that off. There is the pattern that I've just been talking about. And you can see how very drapey it is. This is an ITY knit. This was probably, I think, the first one that I made. I've washed and worn this, I can't tell you how many times, over and over and over. Okay, so that's the next tip. And I need to share my screen again so that I can see what the next tip is. And that is another thing you can do if you don't want to trace your patterns. Now, you might have one of those patterns like Quick Sew patterns or Jarly patterns. Jarly is, of course, the Canadian pattern company. And when you take it out the envelope, it's a much thicker paper, a white paper usually. And those are very difficult to deal with. because number one, it's much thicker and it's folded, so it's got lots of crinkles and creases in it. Yes, you can iron it, but I find that soon starts to tear, and it's not as easy on your fabric. It doesn't lay the way you want it to lay. So what I do there is I trace off my size, and the other reason I trace off my size is because if I cut it, and I used to do this many years ago, I think I'm not going to get fat. I'm just going to cut off the size that I currently am. You know what? I've learned the error of my ways, because like it or not, I have got a little bigger as I've got older. And so I don't do that anymore. And what I do is I lay some sort of paper. This paper that I'm showing you here is actually just like the paper that doctors use on the examination tables. And you can actually buy it on Amazon. It's very, very inexpensive. You can actually use it as a tear-away stabilizer in your embroidery machine too, because I've done that. And it tears away so easily. Look at that. All right. So if you put that on one of your quick sew or Jali patterns, you can see through it and you can trace off your size. It's going to tear easily, so you still might, if it's a pattern that you think you're going to use often because you make it once and it's a roaring success and you want to make this more and more, you can then iron your fusible knit, fusible craft interfacing on the back. Okay, another person told me, and I haven't personally done this myself, but she buys rolls of clear plastic, not sticky plastic, just regular plastic. And she traces her patterns off onto the clear plastic with a black Sharpie pen. And then she notes all the markings in and everything. And she says you can see through it, so you know where you're putting it on your fabric. She loves doing that. I just don't have any rolls of plastic, so I haven't yet done it for myself. But like I say, that was banishing paper pattern blues, and giving you some ideas of how to deal with your patterns and cutting out. Any questions on that or suggestions, comments? What do you do? And I will stop the sharing of the. Anybody got any comments on that?
Liz?
Yep.
I know that Staples sells large rolls of vellum paper.
Yeah.
And I think that too, because vellum is more like a plasticky kind of paper.
Yeah.
So I think that's actually good stuff.
Yeah, it's a little stiffer.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is also something else that I've sometimes picked up at shows, and it's called Swedish tracing paper. And I've bought rolls of that, and it was really quite inexpensive. But I haven't been to Sew Expo in Puyallup in Washington State for a number of years now. And they're doing it virtually again this year. So I am attending this year, but I'm not going down across the border. So that is kind of where I bought it. But anything along those lines, you can certainly use. Any other comments or suggestions?
I'm just writing something right now in the comments of what I use.
Okay. Oh, so the heavier washes might have lead in them.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay, so then would you just glue fabric to them?
Yeah, there was actually something on Facebook a little while ago about that, and you just make little squares of fabric and sew a border around them, like not going anywhere near them, but it's so that you're not handling it.
Okay. That will explain then when I went online, I saw people, you know how you make pom-poms with a little circle of cardboard and it's got a hole in the middle and you wind the yarn round and round it. A lot of people have done that with the washers.
Yeah.
So I guess that would work too.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks for that point, Jean. That's
Liz?
a good point to have made. All righty. So let's
Liz?
see. Yes.
Liz? Sorry,
Yes.
this is the vellum.
Okay. Is it fairly stiff?
You can use pencil. I bought some just in case. I figured at some point if I ever got into doing anything, right?
Okay. Yeah, we're always too busy, aren't we? Okay, so let's share my screen again and see what my next slide has in store for you. All right. I wanted to say, and I probably should have said this earlier, there is no such thing as a silly question. I can't tell you how many times I read on Facebook or people have said to me, I know this is a silly question, but please don't say that. Because you know what? I've found with experience, I've been doing this a long time, that when somebody asks a question, they think it's silly, but it's not, because often there's at least several other people in that same group who want to know the same answer and they were too scared to ask too. So I don't want anybody to think there's a silly question. They're not silly. We're all at different stages of our sewing, and you may be better at some things than me, and I may be better at some things than you. When I say better, not better in terms of judgment, but just I've done it longer than you've done it or something like that. So don't ever think there's a silly question. Please ask them. Okay. Right. So let's talk a little bit about upcoming classes and sew-alongs. I have not put these on my website yet because there's no point in me putting them on the website when the video is not ready. And so you're getting a sneak preview of what's coming up. The top there, the top bralette that you can see in the picture, that one was made with a top that I had. It was cotton knit, and I cut it up because it wasn't very comfortable as a top. It was a bit tight for me. And I cut it out and I made a bralette with that fabric. And then I had a different spotty fabric and I made the panties. And so I put this picture up to show you that a panty class is coming up. And I am busy packing panty kits so that you can purchase a panty kit. And I'm going to have a list of places where you can get panty patterns. Some of them are free, some of them are purchasable, and you can make your choice. But while the video is not ready, is that I've used this particular panty pattern that comes from Jan Bones in Winnipeg, Manitoba. And I sent her an email, but I don't think she's terribly tech savvy. She doesn't like all that kind of stuff. She likes face-to-face with people. She's a wonderful teacher. And she taught me her smoothie panty. And I was wanting to ask if she was going to be happy for me to provide that pattern to you if you did the class. And then obviously I'd buy the patterns from her, but I haven't had a response from her. But I will pursue that. And I want to try out some other patterns as well to say, okay, well, you know what? This one also worked just as well. Because for years, this is the only panty pattern I've been making. So that's coming. And again, I said earlier, if you want to make a bralette and you were not in the class, and I am going to stop sharing the screen now, and I am going to remove the pin from me. Let me just see how I do that. Yeah, no, not there. Okay, so I know that a couple of you did the bralette class with me. Do you want to give a comment about how you found it?
Hey Liz,
Yes.
I totally enjoyed your class. I learned so much.
Okay.
I probably won't look at a bra the same way again, but this
No.
is the one I made.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
It turned out really well.
And it fits nicely?
It fits nice. It's
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you a secret that I started, well, some of you know this, I started making wired bras about 10 years ago at the Saskatchewan Stitches Conference. And honestly, after having made the first bralette I made was in August last year, and I don't know that I'm going to go back to wired bras. I am finding the bralette so much more comfortable. So there you go. And I know that, I don't know where she's gone. Has she left us?
I'm here. It's Deb. I opted no video.
No, that's fine. I'm just looking there. Kay, are you here? She must have had to drop out. Okay, she was here earlier. Kay did the class as well, and Anne also did the class. So I know that, hi, she's on the phone. Okay, so they all did the class, and I am very happy to run it again, or maybe we can do a different bralette. We don't have to do the one from Madeline Intimates. So again, let me know in the Facebook group or send me an email. Okay, so let's go back to sharing the screen and see what we have next. Okay, I have got a class coming up, which is a fully lined in the hoop zipper purse. And this design comes from, I believe it's Embroidery Library, or no, it's Urban Threads, I think. And I have not made the black one with the bright flowers on the left of your screen, but I purchased the design the other day. This design, they're all basically the same. They're just different embroidery on them. This one here I did on white satin, and it's fully lined, and I used white thread because my daughter-in-law is quite a classy lady, and she likes things like very classic. So I took that to her for her birthday in October when I went to the UK, because I live in London, and it seems that she really liked that. Satin is not easy to work with in an embroidery machine. So I learned quite a bit. The first one I started making was a disaster. So I just unhooped and trashed it and started another one. And so I'm going to teach those things in this class, what not to do and what to do. This one I made, this one is black fabric with white thread on it. And it's exactly the same as the white one with the makeup brush sticking out of it. Exactly the same pattern. It just looks completely different. And you can make it as a wristlet, or you can just leave that off and just have it as a little purse. And there's also no reason why it can't be very manly. There are, I believe, 5 different patterns that you can choose from. And they're all basically the same. They just have slightly different embroideries on them. All right, so that's a class that's coming up. And then I have another sew-along. This sew-along is a tote that I have made. The one here in red on the screen, I made for a friend of mine, and so I don't have it anymore, and that's actually a plant in her house where I took the photograph when it had finished. These two, the yellow one and the black one, those are pictures from the Sweet Pea website of various customer projects that have been done. And then this one here is the one that I made. And it was lime green, and I had silver vinyl at the bottom. That was a mistake because it's a stretchy vinyl. And so if you put things in the bag that are too heavy, the bottom of the bag sags. So I won't use that kind of vinyl. It's got to be much stiffer, sturdier vinyl or cork that you put on the bottom. But my friend's one's just got quilting fabric at the bottom. The yellow one, as you can see, whoops, the yellow one there has got a yellow vinyl. I really like that one. I think I'd like to make a yellow one. And this class will obviously include the Sweet Pea designs. They allow me to purchase them in a batch. So when I see that, let's say 10 people have registered for the class, I buy 10 patterns or 10 sets of designs, and then I email them on to you. Alternatively, if you want to go direct to Sweet Pea, you can do that and buy it for yourself. All right, there's my bag with a silver, and there's a pretty little pink one too. What I'm going to do with this class is I'm going to make a video showing how to make 4 of the 8 blocks. Basically, with this project, you make 16 blocks, 8 for the one side of the bag and 8 for the other side of the bag. So it's duplicated. And then I will also show in the video how to put this all together. And I have made 2 now, and I really like them. So obviously I'm going to be making a 3rd for the purposes of the video. So I'm thinking it might be yellow, but we'll see, maybe another color. It can be also completely scrappy. All right, so the next class that is going to be coming up, and you're certainly welcome to ask me any questions about any of these classes. I will post them as soon as they are ready to take bookings. Is a class on stabilizers. I did this class for Gen Try On at the homemade event back in whenever it was, August, I think. And I've had so many people ask me since then who did not attend that event with Jennifer, Liz, I'm so confused about stabilizers. Won't you help me sort out the confusion? So I am going to make a video on that. And we'll talk about cutaways and tearaways and water solubles and ironaways and all that. And there'll be lots and lots of hints and tips in that class too. Again, it will be a pre-recorded video that you will have access to. Did someone have a question? Just shout it out if you've got a question, because I can't see any of your faces at this point, because I have got the screen share. All right, the next one is a class that is going to be coming up pretty soon, and that is a sewing with knits class. And I took it off my top a moment ago, but this is a knit jacket that I made with this very pattern that you see on your screen now. And it is a black and cream colored knit fabric. And you can see the lady on the left on your screen. Her name is Helen, and she lives, I believe, in Campbell River on Vancouver Island. She, you know, anybody that knows anything about Vancouver, and I believe Toronto is much the same, prices of housing are absolutely ridiculous. And she used to live in Vancouver and then got to the point in her life where she really wanted to have her own home, you know, with a garden, so she could have the dog and all the rest of it. So the only way they could afford to do that, she said, was to move to Campbell River on Vancouver Island. So that's where she now is. And she has a pattern company called Helen's Closet. And they have very sweetly agreed to allow me to use the pattern to teach this class. And they will send me, if I have 10 people registering, I will buy 10 patterns from them and then provide the patterns for you. They are downloadable patterns, so you don't have to pay shipping for the pattern. I can just email it to you, and then you're going to print out the pattern pieces. There are 2 styles of this pattern. There is a shorter one and there is a longer one. I have made the longer one behind me here, and I have made another 3 of the long ones. So I think it's kind of time I made a short one. So I'm going to cut out some gorgeous fabric that I've got sitting waiting for me, and I'm going to make another one when I make the video for this class. And at the same time as actually making this cardie, I am going to teach all sorts of hints and tips about how to deal with knit fabrics, because they can be somewhat intimidating for people who have not done much knit sewing. And I, quite frankly, far prefer sewing with knit fabrics than any woven fabrics. I've done woven fabrics, of course, over the years. I made my own wedding dress, but I really like knit fabrics. I've kind of got them tamed, and I will share that with you. All right, so that's another class coming up, and that, of course, will also be a video with the support from me afterwards on the Facebook group, by email, whatever you need. And by the way, I also wanted to tell you that if you do a class with me and you hit a roadblock and you need some help, I am very happy to do a one-on-one Zoom class with you, because there's only so much you can do in a video, in a phone call or an email, or on Facebook. So I am happy to do a Zoom call with you, and you can show me what you're busy with and why you're not sure of how to continue or whatever. So I will do that for any queries that arise out of any of the classes that I offer. All right. So here we have come to this section is I want to know what you've been sewing. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen, and I'm going to ask if anybody, I know Doris has showed us the bra she made. Has anybody else got any show and tell that they want to show? And I'm happy to spotlight you so that we can see what you've made.
I made another bag, Liz.
Okay, show us. Oh, that's beautiful.
Which way do I go? There we go.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is blue calla celosia.
Sorry, repeat the name.
It's a blue calla pattern, and it's celosia.
Celosia. Okay. Is it a
Yes.
new one?
I don't think it's too new, but
Okay.
this opens. So there's a pocket here,
Right.
and then the main part opens. And then there's the pockets inside.
Oh, lovely.
That's beautiful.
Excellent. Blue Calla, she makes really, really beautiful patterns.
She does.
Yeah.
They're absolutely wonderful. So the
Yeah.
the fabric on the outside pocket is hand woven
Okay.
that I wove probably 20 odd years ago.
Wow. That you
And I
made
will-
it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's
And I
very
have a
nice,
jacket.
Anne.
I actually have a jacket that's the
Oh, so
same.
now you have the bag to match the jacket.
Well, I'm not going to wear them together. It's a bit too matchy.
I'm very matchy.
Anyway, it's a fun bag to make. I really
Okay.
enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you for showing. Is there anybody else who's got some show and tell?
I have a miniature quilt, Liz, but I can't, my video has gone. I don't know whether you can see me or not.
Willa, no,
It's Willa.
no.
Yeah.
But you know what you can do, Willa, is you can take a photograph of it and put it on the Facebook group, and then we can all have a
Okay.
look.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened there. I was on
Okay.
earlier, but now it-
Oh, you know what, Willa? It said that your internet connection was low.
oh. Well, I can't do anything about that because I am hooked up. I'm not doing it on Wi-Fi.
No,
Oh.
it came through and said Willa's internet connection is low.
Okay, well, I can't help that. We've got quite a storm going on, if that has anything.
Oh,
to
well,
do-
that'll be it. That'll probably be why. Okay, anybody else got show and tell?
I have since somebody else, Willa was talking about a quilt, I have a quilt that I'm working on, or I just finished.
Let's see it.
It's a season behind.
Oh, Halloween.
I don't know if you can see, yeah. It's a
Like
strip
the
one.
eyeballs.
But Jean, you're a season ahead too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
I'm
yes.
either late or early.
Yeah.
Okay, so just so that you know, Jean actually has a long arm, and she does long arming, custom and edge to edge long arming. If anybody's looking to have their quilts done,
Thank you, Liz.
okay.
Where are you located, Jean?
I'm in Richmond in BC.
Oh, I'm on the other side of the world from you.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Probably the shipping is a bit prohibitive.
people have shipped to me, and then I do the quilts and ship them back. But I've been pretty busy.
Yep.
But if anyone has questions, otherwise I'd be happy to help them.
Okay. Anybody else got something to show?
Liz, I have a
Liz?
question for you.
Okay, I'll come back to you in a moment, Kay. Go ahead, Luciano.
So Liz, the bags that are part of that course, the ones there that look like they were embroidered,
Yes.
do we have to do them as the blocks, or can they be done as just like a couple, I don't know how to say it, a couple pieces of fabric? Like, do they have to be done in those quilted blocks?
There are 8 different designs. So you could do each block and then use them and put the blocks into anything that you want. I mean,
Right, I get that, but do we have to construct it that way, or can we just use like solid fabrics?
That would probably be for another class, Luciano, because that class is specifically to teach applique in the hoop.
Okay, got it.
Okay. That's what Sweet Pea Designs specializes in. And okay, so did that answer your question, Luciano?
It did, but I guess the question then would be from that, are you going to be having any classes where we can just make, I don't want to say simple, but maybe not that complex of bags or tote bags or anything
Sure.
like that?
Sure. Can you maybe find something online, a picture of what you're thinking about, or draw me a sketch maybe and send it to me by email so that I can kind of look at it? I'm happy to consider making something like that, maybe like a messenger bag or something that's simple and not necessarily applique in the hoop.
Liz,
Yeah,
can
actually, Lionel
I'll
made
go and
one.
get something.
Yeah, Lionel's made one, so maybe I'll get him to send you the picture of what he's made, because it really turned out really well.
Okay. I guess Lionel doesn't need the class then.
I have a
No, he doesn't, but I do.
Okay. Well, if you can give me a little bit of a clearer idea of what you want, I'm happy to consider that for a future class. I'm trying not to add too many classes every month because I am supposed to be semi-retired. So I'm not going to be working every day, but I certainly will consider it. Okay.
Liz, there's the show.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Maury.
So what were you learning about today?
Oh.
I don't know how much of this you can see.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah, so sweet.
Our aunt lives in a care home, and she's always cold, and she loves penguins. So I found the fabric last year when we were camping in Port Alberni, and I've just put the binding on today. Actually, I've been working on it all week, so she'll be very happy to have it. And I put that fuzzy stuff on the back.
Oh, Minky.
No, not
Please.
Minky. The other one.
Fireside.
Yeah,
Fireside.
thank you. Fireside.
Okay.
So it's really soft and warm.
Absolutely wonderful. I'll tell you a little story is that let me just go back here. It was not yesterday, the day before. I'm sitting here at my computer in my sewing room and I'm hearing screaming. And I thought, what the hell's going on outside? So I ran to the front door and I was in my slippers and I had no coat on and it was cold that day. And I could see down the stairs, somebody had fallen. And it was my neighbor. And she was yelling for all she was worth. She was in really bad pain. So, of course, I did about 3 or 4 trips up and down my stairs, getting quilts and pillows and whatever to put under her. She'd fallen on the ground and the ground was so cold, but I couldn't move her. So I just covered her with quilts and put pillows under her to try and support her. And I called 911. And yep, she had broken her femur. So,
Wow.
you know what? Our quilts come in very, very handy when we need them. All
Liz,
right.
I have a question about supplies.
Yes.
The hooks and eyes for the back of the bras, are you going to be carrying those?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
They're here. They've arrived while I was away on vacation. I just haven't photographed them and put them on the website yet. But I've got them in black and white and beige cream color.
Right.
Okay.
And are they, how many hooks are on them? Are they
Some of
three
them
or-
are 2, some of them are 3, some of them are 4.
Okay, okay,
So
I'll keep
I'll
checking.
sort of try and, put all the options down and you can choose what you want.
Okay, I'll keep checking them.
Yeah. And then what I've also done is I have worked very hard on it. It's not easy. It's really complicated. My husband and I chose this particular website because we thought it was going to be user-friendly, but it's not that user-friendly as far as I'm concerned. And what I've done is I've revamped the shipping so that, there's more options for shipping, so that if, remember with you, I sent you your 3 kits and I sent it in 1 and 2, because if I
Right.
put all 3 together, then it was going to be $20. Because, the minute it goes over 500 grams, they charge you for a parcel.
Right.
So I've tried to sort of finagle things and make the shipping a little bit better for you guys, because I don't know about you, but I don't like paying lots of shipping either. So I've tried to make it as streamlined as I can. And obviously, hooks and eyes and don't weigh a lot. And provided you don't order 100 of them, they will all go in a regular envelope, so you won't pay more than $4 for shipping. Okay.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. And I have one more question.
Yes.
I'm not sure if it was Doris or Kay that held up the black and white bralette.
Yes, that was Doris.
Okay, Doris, I noticed that the elastic was exposed, and I thought the elastic was supposed to be turned up inside. Which way should it be?
Either or.
Either or. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Most of mine, the elastic is sewn onto the bottom, because I don't like elastic tucking and I mean, it's fine in the morning, but by the time I've eaten my dinner, it's very uncomfortable and it digs into my ribs. So I put it below my bra, but you can certainly put it on and then turn it under and sew it down the same way you do your Pico elastic around the neck.
Right.
Either way. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I
Any
have a
other questions?
question. Yes, me. I'd like to take the knit class from Helen's Closet, but
Yep.
where do you find nice knits? Like, I don't want to go to the F
Okay.
word.
Okay. And you know what? You're very wise, because one of the other Blackwood cardigans, this is called a Blackwood cardigan. That fabric I bought from a store in Alberta. It was in Medicine Hat. Those of you that live in Alberta may know, is it Mooks? In event, they almost a little bit like Fabricland, but a hang of a lot neater. I think it's a Mennonite business, and I bought that fabric, that black and white dotty fabric from them, and it has pulled a little. And a lot of fabric that I buy at the F store ends up pilling. So I will tell you, Doris, you're in Alberta, aren't you?
Yes, Edmonton.
Okay. I have just recently bought from Janice Ashton in Calgary, and she has a business. She's a Palmer Pletch instructor, and she offers classes in Calgary. She's doing some face-to-face classes, but I know you're in Edmonton. And I've just bought 4 pieces of fabric from her, and I bought 2 of them are Pontes, and they're perfect for things like jackets and pants. Ponte is not cheap, but I know from previous fabric I bought from her at the Calgary show, her quality is excellent.
Would you repeat her name, please?
Janice Ashton. And what I'll do is I will put that on the email when I send the links. I will give you her email, her website address.
Perfect. Thank you.
In fact, and just give me 1 second. Her business is called Fits So Well. FITSSEW Well. So you might even find it if you Google it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, then I will tell you there is another supplier in Alberta, and I've bought fabric from her. Some of you, okay, West Coast Fabrics on Vancouver, are they in Nanaimo, Jean?
Yes.
Okay, I haven't come across them.
It's online.
Okay.
I think she was opening up a store, but she basically works out of her house.
Okay.
and you just buy online. That's where I've been buying most of my knit
Okay.
fabric. And Prairie Love Knits in Alberta.
Okay.
And there's,
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember what. Yeah, if you just go on Google online knit fabric.
Yeah,
companies or
it'll come up.
whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
She's in Spruce Grove. I think.
There's also
Yeah, that's
another company in Alberta, and some of you will know her from Janome, Erin Armack, and she has got a business as well, an online business, and it is called Kiss My Stash.
Yeah.
And I've got beautiful fabric. She actually gets her own fabric printed. She chooses designs and makes her own designs and gets them printed overseas and then brings them in. And she brings them in as French terries and lycra and cotton knit and canvas for bags. So she's got quite a lovely selection. And her prices are not too bad, I don't think.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Lots of ideas.
Yes, and as it happens, several of them from Alberta. In Ontario, any suggestions, Anne, of where to buy really nice fabric?
No,
No.
I
Okay,
weave my own.
Yeah. Okay. I will have a look and see if I can find. I know there was one that I looked at, and the reason I haven't bought from them is again because of the shipping. Because fabric is heavy, and by the time I figured out what I was going to pay for the shipping, I thought, nope, I'll stick to buying locally. Okay. So, any other questions? And I'm just going to go to the chat and see.
You answered. I had it on chat, but you answered my question.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah,
think
Gala
Lucy
Fabrics,
had-
I bought lots of fabric from them.
I think
Okay.
we had one in chat about the cardigan or something, if it can be done with a serger.
Yes, that's a very good question. I actually meant to say something about that. That cardi that you see behind me now, I will teach it on the serger and the sewing machine. So if you don't have a serger, that's fine. I will tell you how to sew it with a sewing machine. No problem. There's stretch stitches that you can use on your sewing machine. Having said that, I can't live without my serger. And I'm not selling you a serger because I don't sell sergers. Okay, not anymore. But I can do both. So if you want to make that, that's fine with a sewing machine or a serger. Okay. And let me just go back to sharing the screen. Is there anybody else who wants to show us things? What have you been sewing? Yes, Kay. Sorry, we forgot about you.
I've lost you now.
Let me stop sharing my screen. There you go.
Oh, happy
cute.
Easter.
Oh, look at that. You're busy with Easter baskets already.
Well, it's the from Creative Kiwi. It's their new one that's just come out in time for Easter, but being one of their ambassadors, I got it a
Yes.
couple of weeks ago so that I could have it for display.
Okay.
And it comes with the Happy Easter, but you can put whatever you want on there.
Like a name, say.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know, like for a wedding couple or anniversary or anything
yeah.
like that.
Very cute. Yes, just to mention that Creative Kiwi is a embroidery design company from New Zealand. They do sell in US dollars, the same as Sweet Pea in Australia sell in US dollars. And both of them are really good digitizers. And Kay is an ambassador for them. So she gets a lot of designs to stitch out. You do test stitching for them, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, are you the K that does that?
Well, there's two of us. There's Kay Hindermarsh who lives in France, and there's me.
Is the Kay that lives in France the one that does quite a lot of the digitizing, like the African animals?
I don't think she did the African animals. That was one of Heather's, but she does the videos for her. She does all the stitch out videos.
Okay.
I just do the testing and the proofreading.
Okay. So there you go.
So you don't, okay, you don't do the videos that are on YouTube?
No, that's Kay Hindemarch.
Oh, okay, that's the one that I follow then, or that I've seen her do some of the digitizing in that.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Okay.
I just do stitch outs and proofreading. So if there's mistakes in the pattern, that could be me.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, so let's get everybody
Liz?
back on the screen. Oops, no, that's not what I want.
Liz, I dropped the photo into the chat window there, so you can open it and everyone else could see it as well for that bag I was telling you about.
Okay, let's have a look at that.
Cargoes takes the guest factory vehicle history, days on lot, even dealer reviews. Deal.
Do I have to save it and then open it up?
Let's circle back.
You have to download it, Liz.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so there we go. Can you see it now?
No.
Let me share my screen. There we go. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh,
Luciano?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. So yes, we can certainly talk about that. At the top is that vinyl.
No, it's just another fabric.
Okay.
You certainly could put vinyl if you wanted to, I guess.
Yeah.
Either at the top or the bottom.
Okay. All right. I will definitely consider that, and we will look at that for a little bit down the road. Okay.
Actually, if you're interested in that, Liz, it's a Northcott free pattern online. You can see it.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have a look at that. I actually like using free patterns for classes because it just cuts down on the cost of the class.
Yeah.
And but I always ask permission. I don't just use them without asking for permission because I think that's rude.
Oh, I see. You have for permission to do the class as opposed to
Yes.
just
And
downloading.
there's some that will allow it, like the bralette that I am totally in love with is called a Watson bra. And that lady will not allow her pattern to be used for classes, whether they're face-to-face or whether they're online. She doesn't care. You may not use her pattern for a class.
Really?
Which
Wow.
is sad because it is such a lovely pattern. So I'm choosing different patterns, where they will allow you to do it. Thank you for sharing that, Luciano.
Yeah, thank you. I had a technical difficulty here. I couldn't answer your question. Sorry about that. Yeah,
That's okay.
Lionel made that. He made that and gave it to my aunt as a gift. She loved it. Yeah.
Okay, right. Well, thank you for sharing. Anybody else want to share anything? Any more projects? Okay, so I'm going to go back to the screen here and we're going to move on, and I'm going to show you some of the things that I've made.
I think Doris wants to show you something, but I think she's on mute.
Oh,
I saw Doris holding something up.
Yes, I was on mute, sorry.
okay.
So I'm making the Book Nerd quilt by Angela Pingle.
Okay.
But I'm using Tulip Pink fabric.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that is beautiful.
These are the pages at the top.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
the bottom of the book.
Oh, that is nice.
Very nice. And is it going to be a quilt?
It's going to be a quilt.
Uh-huh.
So I have 17 more different patterns to do.
All the same fabric?
They're all Tulip Pinks. All Tulip Pink ones. This one is
Oh, look at
going
that.
down the hole.
Yes, Alice.
And this is the Mad Hatter one.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
holding it upside down.
Oh, we'd love to see that when it's finished. That would be.
Might be a while.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I've got projects that go back more years than I'm cared to admit.
It's paper piecing. It's driving me crazy.
Oh, you're
don't like
brave.
paper
I
piecing?
actually do not like paper piecing at all.
Is it the fact that you have to rip all that paper off afterwards, or?
No, you know
To
what
get
it
into
is?
the hang of it.
This is my story, and I'm sticking to it. Is when I was a child, I did not know my left from my right. And I had to do this with my hands to know which was left and right. And it's just stuck with me all my life. And paper piecing is kind of like that, except it's dealing with the mirror image.
Yeah.
I have such a problem in my head with that I fuss and I fiddle and I end up feeling stupid. So that's why I don't do paper piecing very much, because I find it hard.
It can be frustrating. I tried one block to see if I could maybe get into it, and I don't have an issue so much with that. It's the cutting of the fabric to make sure you've got the proper size.
Correct.
To cover the lines, your 1/4 inch more. And
correct.
You would think it's easy to do that, but in some cases it's rather difficult. So
yeah,
you either undercut
Yes,
or overcut where you're wasting a lot of fabric.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is challenging.
Yes. And I have done some paper piecing in the hoop, and for some strange reason I found that easier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go back to sharing my screen, because what it isn't. Oh, before I do that, is there anybody else who wants to show anything? Before I cut into you and not let you show something. Okay. So let me quickly show. What time is it? Oh, wow. I didn't realize we'd gone over an hour. Is everybody still okay for time?
Yeah.
It's still good.
Okay. So let me share my screen and I'll whip through that and then tell you the last thing that I want to tell you about. All right. So these are some of the bras that I've made and the panties. Of course, I've put most of these on my Facebook page and my Instagram page. I don't model my bras. I have a friend who absolutely forbids me to do that. She says there are a lot of crazy people out there. I don't know. I haven't met any of them, but I have a modest Millie who does my modeling for me. And my friend found Modest Millie for me, and then I covered her in fabric so that she didn't look like she had some skin disease. Okay.
No.
Yeah, she really didn't look good at all. You can see that there, her legs are sort of like a silver color. And the top of her was all scratched and dented. So I fixed her up. She got a boob job and she saw a dermatologist. So now she's healthy. There are two more of my bras.
When you send her, what plastic surgeon do you use for her?
Oh, okay. What I did was I cut up some foam cups from a bra that I didn't wear anymore. And I stuffed them with toy stuffing and shoved them onto her, and I glued them, but it didn't work. So in the end, I taped that to her with duct tape and then put that cream knit fabric over the top. And now she's as close to me as possible. So that's good, because if I'm putting the bra on like this, I don't want too many wrinkles because it doesn't look good. So on the left, that is fabric that I dyed. And if you want to get into dyeing, it's a lot of fun. And I dyed that with turmeric from my kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
And it worked really, really well. And then on the left-hand side, I took the bow off and I wore that on my holiday in Mexico around the pool, because it kind of could pass muster as a swimsuit for sure. And then these ones are sweet pea designs as well. And they are applique in the hoop. And it was a monthly sew along a couple of months ago, I think September, somewhere around there. And on Sweet Pea, and I bought the designs and I did them at first. It's called Indoor Plants. And I did them, the photograph's a little bit grainy, I'm afraid, but I did them in greens. And then I thought, well, what the hang? I had such fun. I'm going to do that in fall colors, because I totally love fall colors. And I may actually do another one because I really, really like it. Okay. And then this is more Sweet Pea. The snowmen we did as a sew along in November, I think it was. And I did the top one, had so much fun, and have started with the bottom one. Only thing is I've now bought Mrs. Snowman, because I think there's too many men there. And so we're going to mix up the men and the women, and I'm going to actually make a throw with Minky on the back for my couch. You know, there's only so many things you can hang on the wall. And then this was my Christmas tree one. I do believe that was the December sew along. And I made that one, sweet pea, and then some more swimsuits that I made for Mexico last month. Both of them are the Watson bra, the one that lady won't let us use for class. And I used scuba here and lycra on the black one. And then the pink pants are lycra as well, fully lined lycra. And I've also, this is a class on the website, in the hoop eye masks, because I don't know about you, but I can't sleep with light in the room. And there's always so much electronic equipment around, and then I see a blue light in the middle of the night, and that's me wide awake. So I like to sleep with an eye mask, and that's all in the hoop, and the class includes the design. And then we are down to almost the end of what I wanted to do with you today. I want each time to share, and we've done some of it already, share with you places that you can go and get resources, because I'm not the oracle of everything. And I'm sharing with you one of my very favorite bloggers. Her name is Karen. She's on the right. I've never met her. She lives in London, England, and she has a weekly blog. So she doesn't bombard you with 7 emails a day. I recently subscribed to something, and earlier today I unsubscribed from the lot because I'm tired of getting like 10 emails a day from them. So she only sends you 1 per week, and she normally does it on a Sunday. And she has been voted one of the top bloggers in the UK. She doesn't only do sewing. Sometimes she'll tell you about books and other things that's happening, or some exhibition in London. You can gloss over that if it's not important. But I really like her style of writing. And so I thought I'd share that with you. You can subscribe to her. And she does beautiful sewing. And I do believe she made that dress that she's wearing. Okay, and then on the left of the screen, that's the crafty quilter for that ombre heart. And I only recently discovered her. It actually came from Karen, who lives in England, and she was recommending this lady in San Francisco. All right, so those are the 2 that I want to share with you, and you will get videos. So that is my screen sharing stopped. Let's just stop it.
Liz,
Yep.
could you add the your sweet pea rep ID
Yes.
when we order?
Yes.
I seem to have misplaced it.
No problem. Yeah, I didn't mention that earlier, but for those of you that don't know, is that I am what they call, oh, I don't even know if I've got a name, but if you buy a sweet pea design using my code, and you enter the website, you have to enter the website with my code. It'll take you there to the website, same pricing. And then when there's a certain amount that has been bought on that code, I get a little bit of a commission. So if you want to do that, you're very welcome. You don't have to by any manner of means. Okay, so there's one more thing that I want to show you, and then we can finish off, is that each month, let me get the screen back, exit full screen, and let's I think I have to pin myself, don't I? Right, so we're going to choose my camera, and there you go. All right, I have got a little gift for somebody. Okay, I have got a packet of organ needles, and they are universal needles. There's 5 of them in a range of sizes, and there is also one of those little 2.5-inch square packs of fabric, and it is Moda Count Your Blessings. And that little bundle will go to one lucky person, and here is what you can do to win that. So I am asking that any of the things that you showed today or any of the things that you've been working on, I would like you to post a picture on my Facebook group. So, and Learn with Liz Thompson. And just say next to the picture something along the lines of, please enter me in the giveaway. All right. Now it's going to be one Facebook post per photograph. So if you have 3 things to show me, you get 3 shots in the draw. And here, let me get my camera up so that you can see. I have a big glass jar. And every time I see somebody has posted on my Facebook group, and there are a gazillion little pieces of paper already cut. Okay, where are they? Oops, under the camera. Okay, I will put your name on it and pop it in my big glass jar. And if you post me a picture of something that you made in my class, so Doris, your black and white bra, Kay, your bra, but not the ones you sent me on my cell phone. Okay, just lay it on a table. All right, and your bras, there's also those little Christmas angels some people made. You'll get 2 tickets in the draw if it was coming from one of my classes. Okay, so some of you could actually win quite a few tickets in this glass jar. All right, and that's it. Oh, it does need to be something that was made in the last 3 months, please. I don't want you to be showing me stuff that you made 10 years ago. All right, fair? Okay, any questions from anybody?
No questions, but I want to say thank you.
You're
Yes.
very welcome.
Yes.
Thank you, Liz.
You're
Thank you,
very welcome.
Liz.
Very enjoyable. Thank you.
Good, good. So we will try to keep it to sort of 1 to 1.5 hours because I know we're all busy people. I will send you the video of the class today as well as the video of the little love you thingy. Where am I on the screen? Have I disappeared? Oh, yes. It will help if I remove the camera and go back to my webcam. All right, so this here. I will send that to you, and I will also send the links so that you know where to go for the various things. When are we going to do it in March? I unfortunately can't do it on the first Wednesday. Has anybody else got another suggestion for March?
How about the second Thursday?
Second Wednesday or second Thursday?
It doesn't matter. What's today, Wednesday?
Wednesday, yes.
Yeah, second Wednesday, I guess would be fine.
Okay, so I will let you all know, and it probably will be the same code you used to get in today, but I would like you all to register again so that I know who's coming and how many we've got, and then we will do the draw on that second. So you've got a while now, all right? You've got an extra week. Okay. All right. Thank you all very, very much for coming. I appreciate that. And I will hopefully see you all again soon.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Liz.
Liz.
Thank
All righty.
you, Liz.
Bye.
See you next
Bye.
month.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
Liz.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.